Okay, so let's start the today's session. In the last session, they have taken, or I briefed you about the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, both for cyclic process and for non-cyclic process. In the last lecture, I have briefed you about the first law of thermodynamics for a closed system that undergoes cyclic process and non-cyclic process. Okay, so let us start. Okay, for the today's lecture, I will explain the characteristic gas equation. I will explain characteristic gas equation. I will explain the characteristic gas equation. Okay, and this equation will be useful for you throughout the thermodynamics, right? So this is characteristic gas equation, or it is also known as ideal gas equation. Okay, we will also call this as ideal gas equation. Ideal gas equation. Characteristic gas equation, or it is also known as ideal gas equation. Okay, now try to understand the equation. See, P into capital V is equal to MRT. Okay, PV is equal to MRT. It is nothing but called as ideal gas equation. PV is equal to MRT. Okay, now what is P? It's a pressure, right? P is a pressure, right? What is V? V obviously it's a volume, right? Pressure, volume. Okay, what is M? It's a mass. M is a mass, right? Now see, what is R? R, it is called as characteristic gas constant. Characteristic gas constant. R, it is called as characteristic gas constant. And what is T? T, it's a temperature. It's a temperature, right? T is a temperature. Try to understand. So PV is equal to MRT, where P is a pressure, V is a volume, M is a mass, R is characteristic gas constant, and T is a temperature, right? Now see, let us go unit. Let us go unit by unit wise. Right? Now see, the pressure I can take it in Newton per meter square. See, pressure I will take it in Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square, this is also known as Pascal, right? Newton per meter square, it is also known as Pascal. Into volume I will take it in meter cube. Volume I will take it in meter cube, right? Mass will be in kg. Okay, kg. Value of R I will take it in joule per kg Kelvin, right? Value of R I will take it in joule per kg Kelvin. And temperature T, it is in Kelvin. Okay, temperature T, it is in Kelvin. So if you just check the units, see Newton per meter square into meter cube. So what you will get? Newton meter. Newton meter is equal to kg get cancelled, Kelvin get cancelled, is joule, right? Newton meter is equal to joule, right? Obviously, product of Newton and meter, it's joule. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Right? Now see, all of you. If you take pressure in kilo, right? If you take pressure in kilonewton, if I take the pressure in kilonewton per meter square, right? So that kilonewton per meter square, it is nothing but a kilopascal. It's a kilopascal into volume. Volume I will take it in meter cube. Okay, I have just only taking the pressure in kilo. Initially, it was only Newton per meter square. Now I am taking it in kilonewton per meter square. That is kilopascal, right? So is equal to mass. Obviously, I will take it in kg. Okay, but when you take the pressure in kilonewton, obviously R has to be kilojoule. Okay, so I will take the R in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Kilojoule per kg Kelvin. See R, this R, I have taken in kilojoule. Initially, it was in joule. Now I take it in kilojoule per kg Kelvin into temperature, that is Kelvin. Into temperature, that is Kelvin. So again, kilonewton per meter square multiplied by meter cube, that is kilonewton meter, is equal to kilojoule. Kilonewton meter is equal to kilojoule. Is it okay now? Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know.
Yes.
Is it okay with this equation? Right. Now, see what I will do in this equation. I will just bring mass on the left hand side. So P V by M is equal to RT. P into V by M is equal to RT. You can see this. And see, whenever anything it is divided by mass, it becomes specific, as I told you in the previous lecture, right? Okay, and see, capital V is a volume. When you divide capital V by mass, that is volume by mass, it becomes specific volume. Okay, so that I will write down as P into now small v. P into small v, okay, is equal to RT. Try to understand. P into small v is equal to RT, right? P into small v is equal to RT. Okay, now let us go unit wise. Let us go unit wise. Unit for the pressure, we will take the pressure in Newton per meter square, right? So Newton per meter square, it is nothing but a Pascal, right? Volume, see, it's not a volume, it's a specific volume now. Okay, so specific volume, it is capital V by M, that is volume by mass. So it is meter cube per kg, right? Meter cube per kg. You can check. Small v is V by M. What is unit for V? It's a meter cube. Unit for mass is a kg. Is equal to R. Is equal to, you can see R. What is the unit for R? When you take this in Newton, the R will be in joule. So it is joule per kg Kelvin multiplied by temperature. That is Kelvin again, right? So what you will get? Newton meter by kg, right? See, this meter square and this meter square get cancelled. So 1 meter will remain here. Newton meter per kg. So that is nothing but what? Okay, kilo gets Kelvin gets cancelled. It is joule per kg. Okay? It's a joule per kg. Is it okay? Similarly, instead of taking in Newton, if I take it in kilonewton, so I'll just take it in kilonewton per meter square. Kilonewton per meter square. Kilonewton per meter square, it is nothing but kilopascal. Okay, into volume. Obviously, it is in meter cube per kg, right? Specific volume, it is in meter cube per kg. Is equal to R. Now it has to be in kilojoule. Kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Multiplied by temperature, that is in Kelvin. Okay, multiplied by temperature, that is in Kelvin, right? So what will get? Okay, what will get? Kilonewton meter by kg. Kilonewton meter by kg, that is kilojoule per kg. Right? So same equation we will get it here. Right? Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Is it okay with this equation? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now question will be what is R? Okay. Pressure, you know what is pressure, you know volume, you know mass, you know temperature. Okay. So you don't know what is R. So as I told you, R is a characteristic gas constant, right? R. Okay. See, characteristic constant R. R it is called as characteristic gas constant. And how you will calculate characteristic gas constant? It is a ratio of, or it, okay, or it is basically universal mass constant, universal mass constant, or universal gas constant. It's a ratio of universal gas constant, okay, and universal gas constant, it is indicated by R bar. Universal, see, I will just write down that again if you want. See, I'll just universal gas constant divided by molecular weight, divided by molecular weight. Okay, so R it is what? R it, how will you calculate R? It is what? It is universal gas constant, that is R bar divided by molecular weight. Okay, R bar divided by molecular weight. Try to understand. R is a characteristic gas constant. So how you will calculate characteristic gas constant? Okay, so for characteristic gas constant, you require universal gas constant. And universal gas constant, it is indicated by R bar and divided by molecular weight, right? So see, as it's a universal gas constant, its value is obviously constant, and that is 8.314. 8.314, its value is constant, divided by molecular weight. Molecular weight. Molecular weight, right? Okay. So R is 8.314 divided by molecular weight. Right? Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Is it clear or not? Let me know. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now see all of you. So this is called as, this is the formula, basic formula for R. R, it is given by 8.314 divided by molecular weight. 8.314 divided by molecular weight, right? So this is what the equation is, right? Now let us move to the next point. Let us move to the next point. Okay. So see here, all of you. Now we will calculate. Now we will calculate, or I will just brief you about specific heat, specific heat at constant pressure, specific heat at constant pressure. Specific heat at a constant pressure is indicated by Cp. Specific heat at a constant pressure, it is indicated by Cp. Specific heat at a constant pressure is indicated by Cp, right? Now, how to calculate, how we will get the value of Cp? Okay, so if we need to define the Cp, so the formula for Cp, okay, specific heat at a constant pressure. C stands for specific heat. Suffix P indicates that it is at a constant pressure. Suffix P indicates that it is at a constant pressure, right? Specific heat at a constant pressure, it is at a constant pressure. So what is the formula for that? It is given by, it is rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature, when pressure is held constant. Try to understand. Just remember the formula. Cp, it is related with change in enthalpy. So formula for Cp is, it is a rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature when pressure is held constant. Okay, it's basically the rate at which the enthalpy is changing with respect to temperature. Okay, what is enthalpy? That I will let you know. Okay, now just you remember the formula. Okay, or you just remember this concept. It is the rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature when pressure is held constant. So that is nothing but Cp. Okay, that is nothing but Cp. Okay, now see all of you. One more term it is there. That is called as specific heat at constant volume. And that specific heat at a constant volume, it is indicated by Cv. Okay, specific heat at a constant volume, it is indicated by Cv, right? So see, specific heat at a constant volume, is given by, okay, Cv is given by, it is rate of change of internal energy. It is rate of change of internal energy with respect to temperature, when volume is held constant. Try to understand. It is a rate of change of internal energy with respect to temperature when volume is constant. Okay, so specific heat at a constant pressure, that is basically Cv. It is related with internal energy. You can see Cp it is related with the enthalpy. Cv, it is related with the internal energy. So how will you calculate Cv? It is the rate at which the internal energy is changing with respect to temperature when the volume is held constant. Okay, when the volume is held. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Okay, so see, all of you. So see, for air, we used to take the Cp as 1.005, okay, kilojoule per kg Kelvin. This is the value of Cp for air, right? Similarly, Cv for air, okay, we used to take it at 0.718 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, Cp, this is the value of Cv for air. Okay, and value of R we used to take it as 0.287 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Try to understand. For air, Cp is 1.005, Cv is 0.718, and R is 0.287. Okay, right? So see from where you got these values. From where you got these values, you can check how you will calculate R. R you can calculate as 8.314 divided by molecular weight of air. Divided by molecular weight. At 0.287. Now, from where the Cp and Cvs came, right? From where the Cp and Cvs came, right? So for that, you can see enthalpy. Try to understand. Huh? Now just see what I'm explaining now. Enthalpy H. I'll just write down here. Enthalpy it is indicated by H. Enthalpy it is indicated by capital H. Okay, enthalpy it is indicated by capital H. Now, internal energy it is indicated by U plus product of pressure and volume. Try to understand. H it is nothing but enthalpy, right? H is enthalpy. Okay, what is that term actually? Okay, what is that enthalpy actually? That I will let you know, not a problem. Enthalpy. Okay, U is an internal energy. Okay, what is internal energy? That for that we have already seen the derivation. Okay, internal energy, we have already seen the derivation in the last lecture on what is internal energy. Okay. So let us do this now. Okay, so what I will do, here is now you can see enthalpy. Now I should get the formula for enthalpy, right? Okay, so for that, you can see here, all of you, how to get the formula for enthalpy. What is the value of dou H you will get? Dou H is equal to Cp into dou T. Is it okay? Dou H is equal to Cp into dou T. Okay. Dou H is equal to Cp into dou T, right? Right. Now see, if I just integrate it, integration of dH, if I do it, so what do I get? I will get H is equal to Cp into T. Says or no? H is equal to Cp into T. Just integrate it. Simple. H is equal to Cp is a constant value. Integration of dt is T. Right? Similarly, come back to here. What value of dou U you will get? Dou U is equal to Cv into dt. Right? Dou U is equal to Cv into dou T. See, it's a partial integration. Dou U is equal to Cv into dou T. That is what is written. Now, as I told you, you integrate U. So when you integrate U, so integration of dou U is U. Cv is a constant term. Integration of dt is T. Is it okay? Is it okay now? Let me explain.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so see, we got the value of U, we got the value of H. You can see, but they are small. Here, what we have? We have a capital here, right? So what we will do basically, we will divide this everything by mass, right? So H divided by mass. See, when you divide capital thing by mass, it becomes small, right? Is equal to U by M plus P. I will keep it as it is, and volume I will divide by mass, right? See, every time I divided it by mass. Here I written that mass below the volume. Okay, now see, capital H by M, it's a small h. Capital U by M, it's a small u. As I told you, any capital term, if you divide by mass, it becomes a small term. Plus P into capital V by M. So it's a small. Is it okay? So H is equal to U plus PV. H is equal to U plus PV. Now put the value of H. H is equal to Cp into T. Cp into T is equal to U. U is the Cv into T. Okay. Plus. Now this is P into small v. What is P into small v? You can check it. P into small v is equal to RT. Here only you have it. P into small v is equal to RT. Okay. So this is R into T. Right? So if you just solve it, what you will get? You will get a value of R as Cp minus Cv. Okay, R as Cp minus Cv. Is it okay? R it is given by Cp minus Cv. You can check it. What value of R you will get? Cp minus Cv. Right? T gets cancelled. They are common too because they are common, right? So you will get R as Cp minus Cv. Okay, now see, all of you just see. Value of R is given by C. Okay, term it is called as gamma. Okay, it is called as gamma. Okay, gamma I will write down this as adiabatic index. Okay, adiabatic index. Remember this term. Adiabatic index, it is indicated by gamma. Try to understand. Gamma. Adiabatic index, it is indicated by gamma. And gamma, it is a ratio of Cp by Cv. Okay, it is a ratio of specific heat at a constant pressure divided by specific heat at a constant volume, right? So what we'll do here is we'll put the value of, we just put the value of Cp. Okay, so from this equation, I'll write down the value of Cp as gamma into Cv. Okay, so this is the value of Cp as gamma into Cv, right? So see, let me write down this as, okay, so let me write down this here first. So let me call this as equation number 1. Let this be equation number 1. Okay, let this be equation number 2. Let be 3. Okay, let this be 3. Okay, so I'll just write down here from equation 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Right? So let me call this as equation number 4. So equation number 4. So in the equation number 4, I will put the value of Cp. Okay. So I'll just write down putting. Let me call this as 1. This is 5, right? This is 5. Okay. So putting equation number 5 in equation 4. Okay, I'll put it. So what value of R I will get? R is equal to Cp. What is the value of Cp? Gamma into Cv minus Cv. Gamma into Cv minus Cv, right? So what value of Cv I will get? What value of Cv I will get? Okay. So I'll just write down this as, R is equal to, okay, Cv I will take it common. So what is remaining? It's gamma minus 1. Gamma minus 1 into Cv, right? So here we will get the value of Cv. We'll get the value of Cv as R upon gamma minus 1. We'll get the value of Cv as R upon gamma minus 1. Is it okay? All of you, is it okay? Yes or no? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Is it clear? I just put this value Cp as gamma into Cv into this equation. So I got this equation. Is it okay? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, one more thing I will explain. Let me write down the value of see. All of you see. Now we have Cp, we have Cv. Cp and Cv. Okay. Cp and Cv we have, right? So see, this Cp, it is in the form of gamma. Cp, it is in the form of gamma and Cv. Try to understand. This Cp, it is in the form of gamma and Cv. If you just see the Cv, it is in the term of R. Cv, it is in the form of R. Similarly, if I need to get Cp in terms of R, okay, I want Cp in terms of Cp is equal to R plus Cv, right? Cp is equal to R plus Cv. Okay, try to understand. Cp is equal to R plus Cv. Okay, so E is equal to R. Okay, you can see R. I will write down as it is plus Cv. Cv here only we have. That is R upon gamma minus 1. Try to understand. See, I have already the value of Cp, but I want the Cp in the form of R because this Cp, it is in the form of Cv. I want the Cp in the form of R. So you can see Cp is equal to R plus Cv. That is what is written, R plus Cv. So R, it is written as it is. What is Cv? R upon gamma minus 1. So E is equal to, so what we will get here? Gamma minus 1 will be common. Gamma minus 1 will be common. What is the meaning? So you can take gamma minus 1 will be common. R into gamma minus 1. So you will get R into gamma minus 1. R into gamma minus 1 plus R. Right? R into gamma minus 1 plus R. So what value of Cp you will get it here? You can check it. What value of Cp you will get? See, this R into 1, R into minus 1 is minus R. So minus R plus R gets cancelled. What is remaining? It's R gamma upon gamma minus 1. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know. It is R gamma upon gamma. Is it clear or not? See, Cp
Yes,
is
sir.
equal to R plus Cv. Cp is equal to R plus Cv. R as it is, value of Cv. This I will put R upon gamma minus 1. Okay, now in order to solve, we have a common denominator gamma minus 1. So gamma minus 1 is common, then gamma minus 1 into this, it is written, plus this R. So R into gamma, it is written R into gamma, and R into minus 1, so that is minus R, plus R gets cancelled. So this is the only term which is. Understood this thing? Let me know. Is it understood? Is it understood or not? Let me know. Is it okay with this thing?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? Is it clear? What is explained
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay, no problem. Now we will move to the next point. Okay, now see. Now we will take. Okay, now I'll just take. Now we will start with the 5 processes. Okay, now we will start with the 5 processes. Right. So let us start. Let us start. See, all of you try to understand. Now we will start with the processes which belongs to closed system. Okay, the thermodynamic processes. I'll just write down. Thermodynamic processes for closed system. We are in a closed system only now. Once the closed system gets over, we will go to the open system. So what are the thermodynamic processes for the closed system? What are the thermodynamic processes for the closed system? That we will see it. That we will see now. Okay. So there are 5 processes in total. Okay. There are 5 processes which belongs to the closed system. Okay. So see, we will go one by one. I'll write down the first process. It is called as constant volume process. First process, it's the constant volume, or it is also known as isochoric. It is also known as isochoric process. Try to understand. First process, it's a constant volume, or it is also known as isochoric process. Constant volume or isochoric, it's one and same. Right. So see, all of you, let me start first with the PV diagram. Okay, how the PV diagram is going to look like. Okay, so I will start now with the PV diagram, pressure and volume diagram for this particular process. Right. So see, all of you, I just mark. Okay, let this be a pressure axis. Okay, and let this be a volume. Okay, this is pressure and this is volume. Now see, it's a constant volume process. It's a constant volume process. What do you mean by constant volume process? Okay, constant volume. Obviously, it's a straight line. Yes or no? Because see, volume you have on a horizontal axis. Okay, so when you move vertically, at this is my initial point one, where I have pressure P1, okay, and I have volume V1. So let's say this is my initial state, that is state number 1, where pressure is P1 and volume is V1. Now I need to move from state number 1 to state number 2, but during that process the volume is to be kept constant, right? So what I need to do, I need to move obviously vertically, right? Yes or no? So I will reach it to state number 2. Is it okay or not? Let me know. Is it okay or not? See, because it's a constant volume. So if 1 is the initial state and 2 is a final state, we need to move at a constant volume only. That means we need to move on a vertical line. Is it okay? So I will reach it to pressure 2. Okay, and my volume is same as V1, right? So my volume is same as V1. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Is it okay with the process? Yes or no? Is it okay with this process or not? Are you getting this process? You can respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, now let us move to the see what you are saying. You might have the doubt that, sir, why we are going vertically upward? We also can move vertically downward, right? So that also is true. Let's see that if this one is here now. Let's say initial point one is here. Now it was here initially. Initial point one was here. Now I shift. Let's say I have a different process where I have point number one here. Okay, where the pressure is P1 and let's say volume is V1. Volume is V1, right? Now instead of moving upward, I will move it downward. I will reach it to point number two. Let's say here. I will reach it to point number two here, right? But during that process, what I done? Again, I kept the volume constant, right? So I will reach it to pressure P2, okay? But my volume is same as V1. So, okay, so V1 is equal to V2. You can see during the process, see, both are the same process, but one it is going upward and one it is going downward, right? One is upward and one is downward. Is it okay? Right? One is upward and one is downward, right? See, when you can see in the process, just see the first diagram. Okay, when you are going upward, what is happening is pressure is increasing. You can see, though the volume is constant, but pressure is increasing, and such sort of process it is called as heating. Try to understand. It is called as heating. Okay. Now, if you come here back here, though the volume is constant, pressure is decreasing. Such process it is called as cooling. So, okay, so both are exactly reverse processes. When it is going upward, where the pressure is increasing, it is heating, and when the pressure is decreasing, it's a cooling. Obviously, the volume is constant. Is it okay? Right? Okay. So let us see about see. Have you understood the PV diagram? You understood the PV diagram, right? So now let us see what is the relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature. Let us see this PVT relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature. See, just a time before, I have told you about the ideal gas equation. You can see this one. Can you see this? PV is equal to MRT. This is the ideal gas equation. So that only I will write down. Okay. So let's see how I'm writing. I'm writing for state number one. So I will write down this as P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. Okay. I have written that equation for state number one. Similar equation I will write down for state number two. So P2 V2 is equal to MRT. Okay? P2 V2 is equal to MRT. Is it okay? Right? Now see, if you just simplify this equation, what you will get? You will get P1 V1 by T1 is equal to MR. Just see, every step you can see. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to MR. Similarly, if you write down this equation, you will get P2 V2 by T2 is equal to MR. Is it okay? Yes or no? See, PV is equal to MRT. I have applied for state number one. Then I have applied for state number two. Okay, so from these two equations, can I write down? P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Is it okay? Yes or no? See, just a time before only I have explained you about this equation. PV is equal to MRT. So that is the equation I have written initially for state one. After that, I have written for state two. So from that, I got these two equations and the right hand sides are equal. So I'm equal the left hand side. Is it okay? Okay. But you can see, but here what happens? Volume is same. You can check it. But volume is same. So, but V1 is equal to what? V2. Their volume is same. So when V1 is equal to V2, what equation will we get? We will get P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. So this is very important relation which each of you should remember. Okay. So when volume is constant, what is the relation? Pressure by temperature is constant. You can see this. The pressure by P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2 because V1 is equal to V2. You can see when V1 is equal to V2, both gets cancelled. What do you have? P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay with this equation? Okay. Now let us go to the third thing. We are interested to calculate what is the work transfer. what we want? We need to calculate what amount of work is being transferred during process 1 to 2. Okay, we need to calculate a work done, because you know that work will be calculated for a process. So whenever process occurs, then only you will get work transfer, right? So now I will calculate work transfer for process 1 to 2. Okay, so see, formula for W1 to 2, work transfer during 1 to 2, it is given by integration PdV for process 1 to 2. Yes or no? Have I explained this formula to you? Have I explained this formula to you? Just respond, you can respond. See, I will just bring this formula into your notice. See, this is the derivation which I have taken. W1 to 2 is given by integration 1 to 2 PdV. Same formula written. W1 to 2 is given by integration 1 to 2 PdV. Is it okay? See, this is how we calculate the work done. Right? Yes or no? If we need to calculate work done during process 1 to 2, we need to integrate pressure into dV for process 1 to 2. Okay? Now let's do that. Let's integrate it. But you can see V1 is equal to V2. See, what is dV? What is dV? dV is change in volume. That is V2 minus V1. Okay? So we know that V2 and V1 they are same. V2 and you can see V1 and V2 they are same. So dV is equal to 0. Why? As V1 is equal to V2. See, both are same. So change in volume is 0. So when change in volume is 0, what happens? When dW is dV is 0, try to understand. What is dV? Change in volume. That is V2 minus V1. But V2 is equal to V1. So change in volume. See, when both are the same, you will get this answer 0. So change in volume is 0. So dV is 0. So when dV is 0, what happens with W1 to 2? Obviously, it is equal to 0. Yes or no? Is it okay? Work transfer. Is it okay or not? Work transfer is 0. Right? Next. Similar like work transfer, we will calculate heat transfer. Heat transfer. See, we need to calculate heat transfer. Okay, and formula for heat transfer, it is given by Q1 to 2. Okay, Q1 to 2. See, try to understand. Now, if you are unable to understand this formula, okay, simple. What I told you, if you plot any process on a pressure diagram, area below that process will give you the work. Okay, so what is area below the process 1 to 2? Okay, you don't have any area because 1 to 2 it's a single point. Okay, 1 to 2, if you see from top, it's process 1 to 2, it's a single point. So what is the area below the point? It's nothing. So work done is 0. Yes or no? Are you able to understand this? See, I'll just bring this into your notice. When we are taken path function, okay, see, what is the area below 1A2? It is W1 to 2. But the area below 1B2, it's W1B2. Okay. So if you plot any process on PV diagram, area below that process will give you the work. Right? Area below that process will give you the work. So similar thing, I have done it here. Okay. So what is area below 1, 2? Okay. It is nothing but a point. You don't have any area. So work done is 0. Right? Now let us calculate what is heat transfer. So see, heat transfer. For heat transfer, okay, how to calculate the amount of heat transfer? So see how you will calculate the amount of heat transfer. For that, in the last lecture only, let's calculate for this heat transfer. So Q1 to 2, it is given by Q1 to 2. Now see, the process, it is done at constant volume. Try to understand. The process, it is done at constant volume. So formula is integration mCV dt for process 1 to 2. Try to understand. The process, it is done at a constant volume. So formula is mCV dt. If the process is done at a constant pressure, your formula is mCp dt. Okay, this we will see it in the next lecture. Let's talk about when the process is at a constant volume. So when the process it is at a constant volume, our formula for heat transfer is m into CV into dt, mass into specific heat at a constant volume into dt for the integration 1 to 2. Okay, so you can see here mass is a constant value, right? Mass is a constant value. I will take it out. Okay, again CV is a constant value. I will take it out. See, mass and CV, they are the constant volumes. Now, what is the integration of dt? It is T. Integration of dt is T for process 1 to 2. Okay, and that is nothing but T2 minus T1. Try to understand. Integration of dt is T. For process 1 to 2. So that is T2 minus T1. So this is how we will calculate heat transfer. Okay, so heat transfer is given by m into CV into T2 minus T1. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, we have calculated heat transfer. Now let us calculate the next thing. Let us calculate the next thing. And let that thing be, let that thing be, here only I'll write down. Okay. Change in internal energy. Let us calculate what is change in internal energy. So change in internal energy. So let's calculate the change in internal energy. So see, change in internal energy, it is indicated by delta U. Change in internal energy, it is indicated by delta U. So how we'll calculate delta U? So see, in the last lecture only I briefed you. So change in internal energy, it is basically the difference between heat and work. Change in internal energy, it is. If you browse through the previous lectures, what we have taken, right? So in those lectures only you will understand, right? So in the last lecture only I have briefed you about change in internal energy. Okay, so see, let me show you that to you. Let me show these things to you. Okay, I will show you those things. See, from where the internal energy has came, right? So from where the internal energy has came. Let us see. In the last lecture only I explained what is the first law of thermodynamics for a closed system undergoing a non-cyclic process. It says that difference between heat transfer and work transfer, it is change in internal energy. Okay, so that is the only thing which I have written now. Is it okay now? Yes or no? Is it okay or not? See, nothing new I am telling to you. Okay, so let's calculate delta U. Delta U, it's basically change in internal energy. So it is U2 minus U1, change in internal energy. Minus internal energy at the initial state is given by Q122. We have this is equal to M CV into T2 minus T1, M CV into T2 minus T1, right? This value we have it minus W122. W122 is 0, right? So what is the formula for U2 minus U1? U2 minus U1 is equal to MCV T2 minus T1. MCV T2 minus T1. Yes or no? Is it okay or not? Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear or not? Let me know. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from this equation, can you write down this formula for U2? Okay, can you write down the formula for U2? Okay, then what is the formula for U2? U2 is equal to MCVT2. Yes or no? U2 is equal to MCVT2. What is U1? U1 is equal to MCVT1. Yes or no? U1 is equal to MCV into T1. That means what is U? U is equal to MCVT. Yes or no? U is equal to MCVT. Now, if I bring this M on this side, so what you'll get? U by M is equal to CV into T. You can see the only thing which I'm doing. U by M equal to CV into T. Then what is capital U by M? It's a small u. So small u is equal to CV into T. Yes or no? Small u is equal to CV into T. So have you got the same equation? Whether I have explained you the same equation just time before u is equal to cv into t. Just time before I explained u is equal to c into t, right? Same equation I got, u is equal to cv into t. Is it okay? Is it okay or not? Let me know. Okay, now let us see the last thing. Change in enthalpy. Change in enthalpy. Okay, change in enthalpy. And change in enthalpy is indicated by delta H. Change in enthalpy it is indicated by delta H. So how you calculate delta H? See, delta H basically it is enthalpy at the initial state minus enthalpy at the final state. Says or no? How will calculate delta H? Enthalpy at the final state minus enthalpy at the initial state, right? So now what is the formula for enthalpy? Just a time before I have written the formula for enthalpy. U plus PV. You can see this U plus PV. Okay, so I will write down U plus PV. Okay, and here again U plus PV. You can see U plus PV, but this is for state number 2. So U2 plus P2 V2, U1 plus P1 V1. Okay, this is the enthalpy at state number 2 minus enthalpy at state number 1. Okay, so what I will do, I will just rearrange it. I will arrange it like U2 minus U1. Try to get U2 minus U1. Okay, plus P2 V2 minus P1 V1. Just let me know whether these two equations are same or not. Let me know that whether these two equations are same or not. They're same, right? Now what is U2 minus U1? What is U2 minus U1? You have it here only. MCV T2 minus T, right? MCV T2 minus T. You can see this U2 minus U1, right? U2 minus U1. See the value, it is in front of U1. U2 minus U1 is MCV T2 minus T, right? So that is only I have written. U2 minus U1 is MCV T2 minus T. Plus, what is P2 V2? Just here only I explained. P2 V2, it's MRT2. P1 V1, MRT1, right? This is MRT2 minus MRT1. Try to understand, right? So is equal to MCV T2 minus T1 plus, I will take MR common, MR T2 minus T1. Yes or no? MR I will take it common. So it is MR T2 minus T1. So what you will get? M, again, M and T2 minus T1, they are common. So what is remaining? M CV plus R. See, this is CV plus R into T2 minus T1. Yes or no? In these two terms, M and T2 minus T1, they are common. So that I taken. So what is remaining? CV plus R. So now can you tell me what is CV plus R? I'll just bring this lecture. See, what is CV plus R? CV plus R, it is CP. CV plus R, it is CP. So it is M CP into T2 minus T1. Yes or no? Okay. So delta H, that is H2 minus H1. Delta H, that is H2 minus H1. How we have calculated? We have calculated it like this. H2 minus H1, that is delta H, is given by MCP T2 minus T1. You can see the difference. Here it is CV because it's an internal energy. Here it is CP because it's enthalpy, right? Now here, same like that. What is H2? What is H2? MCP T2, right? MCP T2. MCP T2. What is H1? H1 is equal to MCP T1. H1 is MCP T1, right? H1 is MCP T1. So from that, can I write down H is equal to MCPT, right? H is equal to MCPT, right? So if I bring this mass on this here, so H by M is equal to CPT. H by M. See, if I just bring this from here, H, mass I will bring it on left hand side, right? Mass I will bring it on left hand side. Just a minute. Just a minute. can see now. Okay, I bring this mass on the left hand side. I bring the mass on the left hand side, right? So enthalpy by mass, capital H by mass, it's a small h, right? Capital H by mass. You can see this one, capital H by mass, it's a small h. Anything divided by mass, it's a small. Okay, so this becomes small h into Cp into T, right? Into Cp into T, right? Into Cp into T. So whether we got the same equation previously? You can check it. We got the same equation just time
Yes,
before.
sir.
We got the same equation just time before. You can see H is equal to Cp into T. See this equation, H is equal to Cp into T. Same equation we got before. H is equal to Cp into T, right? So now also we got the same equation. Right? So is it okay, all of you? Is it okay to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do today, we'll stop the session. Everybody is able to understand it. Everybody has understood what is taken in the today's session.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Is there any doubt or difficulty with this one? Is there any doubt or difficulty with this one?
No, sir.
Okay, so what we will do today, we will stop, and in the next session, okay, we will continue the remaining processes. Okay, so in this lecture we have taken constant volume. In the next lecture we will take constant pressure and constant temperature process, right? So today we will stop, and in the next lecture we will continue with the rest of the processes. Okay.
Sir, attendance.